Aloha, friends and family. Hope you're enjoying the peace that passes all understanding. I hope you have taken root. I hope your questions have all been answered. I hope you have left the state of confusion far behind. I hope you have left every fear and anxiety far behind. And I hope you have a quiet place away from humans that are still in the illusion, because all they do is promote doubt. You say something positive to somebody in an illusion, they're going to find a way to make it negative. They're going to find a way to tell you or show you some kind of contrary information. You tell them you're free, they're going to show you how you're a slave. You tell them you have power, they're going to assure you that you have no power. You tell them you're rich, they're going to tell you that you're poor. You tell them you're living in heaven on earth, they're going to tell you you're living in the illusion. Because they expect you to be in hell with them. They assume that everybody's in the same state. And that's all that physicality is. It's states of consciousness. There is no other place. There's nowhere to go. Earth is the place where you master your abilities. And when you have the ability to teleport, then you could go wherever you would want to go. And you wouldn't need a spaceship to do it. Because teleportation doesn't require a spaceship. So you're literally on the earth in whatever state you're in until you master the skills and the ability to be able to leave Earth. That's the only way you leave Earth. That's the only way you go explore the cosmos. That's the only way you go to other planets, higher dimensions, and interact with beings of higher dimensional consciousness. And that, see again, to the people in the illusion, that's an illusion. No, nobody can do that. You can't do that. Nobody can do that. But you're going to have to learn how to do that, or you're always going to be right where you've been. You're always going to be in the hell on earth. That's why you've been on earth for so many lifetimes already, and can intuitively sense that this is true, whether you can prove it or not, whatever that means. See, you're not trying to prove anything to anybody else. You gotta just know yourself. You gotta know within. There's nothing to prove to anybody else, especially to people in illusion. They won't get it. It'll go right over their heads, just like everything Jesus said did. So you got to become stable. Stable. Rooted and solid in your higher knowing. You've got to become stable and rooted in you using the intuition. See, prayer is you talking to God. Intuition is God talking to you. And maybe talking's not the best word. Communicating with you. And see, and then you put the feelings and the promptings of that inner world into words. And by doing so, you can share with other people. See, I can't share what God's intuiting to me. I can't share with you what God is prompting within me unless I put it into words. I hope you have your rod of iron on the inside, in your hand. And the minute you intuit that you've been believing something that's false, I hope you immediately smash it. By doing this, you will reprogram the subconscious mind and our subconscious minds became heavy with false beliefs. Hell and heaven being places other than right here, right now, in the present. You have the choice in the present to choose heaven or hell. And I know you're choosing heaven, or you wouldn't even be here. I'm sure you have interest in destroying hell, which was just an illusion. It was part of that subconscious programming that keeps you in fear and doubt and anxiety and worry that you're probably not doing it right. You're probably headed to hell. You're probably going to get judged by some external entity that is perfection to the highest degree, and you're going to be compared to that. And compared to perfection in the highest degree, you certainly don't measure up. And then they added to the lie and to the illusion, well, if you just believe some other person saved you from that hell, that future hell. Again, this is present tense. You're there now or you're not there now. There is no saving you in a future tense. The knowledge of what is true and real is what saves you. And that knowledge could come from Jesus or anybody else. But it's best if it comes from within you. But people like Jesus could facilitate that state of awareness that you connect with within yourself, that then begins to channel into that mind. And let us say that mind is corrupted. That corrupted mind. And it's only corrupted because, again, it's believed all manner of falsity. And this is not a condemnation. This is a revelation. This is the way out of hell. And because this is a time of great awakening for humankind, that's why they have all this bullshit going on out there to distract you. COVID is a huge one. I mean, COVID is literally them saying, we want you to believe that you're sick. We want you to believe that you need our help because we've proved ourselves to be so loving and so concerned. And we've only done good for humanity. We've only done wonderful things for humanity. So since you can see that we've only done good and wonderful things for humanity, certainly you should trust us to give you your healing because we're telling you you're sick. And we got all kinds of NPCs out there that are just ready to believe anything associated with fear. If you think you're sick from COVID, you were sick before COVID. If you are that quick and willing to believe that you're sick, when you don't feel sick, you don't look sick. Again, hardly anybody knows anybody that's sick from COVID, but they said it was COVID. They said it was COVID, yeah. So they're going to find all the people out there manifesting and creating their own sickness because there's plenty of them. And they're going to say, that's COVID. See, that's COVID. That proves that what we're saying is true. You need to get our shot because you're sick. And then they got all the people that believe that shit trying to convince all of us that will never believe that shit that we're sick too. You're just as sick as we are. I mean, if this is not misery loves company of people that reside in hell, I don't know what to tell you. They've convinced these people that they are in hell, and they said, look, convince everybody else out there that doesn't think that they're in hell that they are. And shame them and do whatever else. And this will be a huge distraction from the awakening that's happening. This will definitely keep them disconnected from cosmic mind. This will definitely keep them disconnected from God, who is the source of all healing, all perfect health. And they are ascending out of and away from hell. But you grab hold of them in any way you can, and you try to drag them back into the illusion, into hell, into sickness. And then that will lead to death, and the whole cycle for that person will just continue on. But this is the time of the awakening. This is the time where the rubber meets the road, at the fork in the road, where you're either going to go follow intuition and listen to God, the God within, and take the fork in the road that intuitively you know to take, or you're going to go down that familiar path. The one that your mind is going to say, well, obviously we should go down this road. Because you've done it before. And you end up in hell every time. Questions? Anybody not understand this? Anybody not getting it? Anybody stuck on a point somewhere? Somebody says, well, how do I control my mind? Because I constantly have things coming into my mind that I know are not the things I need to be thinking about. But I can't control it. It just seems to happen automatically. It's coming from every direction. Whatsoever things be just, beautiful, lovely, harmonious, of good report. Meditate on these things. So it's very simple, very simple. Find things that you do want to think about and replace it. Every time one of those thoughts comes into your mind and you feel prompted right then and there within yourself, I know I don't want to think about this. I know I should not let this enter my mind. Boom, have something ready to replace it with. Maybe that could be an affirmation. And if you can't just spontaneously come up with one, then write some down. Take the time to write down some affirmations and have them ready and on hand. And so when that moment happens, because this happens so fast, this stuff is so subtle and so fast, you can shift into the state of health so quickly by merely entertaining thoughts that are contrary. And every time you do that, you could picture, you have a meter within yourself. And as you root and ground the real, your meter is rising, slowly rising, like a XRP cryptocurrency chart. Slowly rising. And you're doing good, and you're feeling good, you're feeling better. Everything seems to be clicking. And then boom, some subtle little thing from somebody around you, or from the TV, or from the news, or from just your own mind, hits you with some sort of thought that's completely contrary. And the minute you take it, the minute you say, I will think about that, I will entertain that, bam, man, you're whatever it was I called it. I can't remember what I just called it. Your meter starts to go down, and your meter's going to go up much more slowly than it can go down. It could go down real fast. It could go down real fast, but it's not going to go up real fast, because again, it's only going up as we root, as we ground, as we embody, as we take that rod of iron and smash everything that's contrary to what we now know. So we're not believing for this. We're not hoping for this. We're not saying someday heaven will be on earth, or I will be in heaven. No, it's all right now. It's the present moment. All the powers in the present moment. See, and by saying I hope to someday, that's doubt. That means you don't think you're there now. You don't believe you're there now. Someday I'm going to have the power and I'm going to manifest it. That's doubt. Today is the day, as Jesus said, of salvation. Of salvation. What is salvation? The knowledge. The knowledge that saves you from yourself, or from your self-created hell, or from that state of separation from source. So right now, because today is always today, right? So it's always right now. Right now is that time. So root it, ground it in the present with no doubts. And see, those doubts, again, are the very thing that will take potentially weeks or months of your progress and just crash it. Because it puts us in a state of hypocrisy, or it puts us in a state of dualism. It puts us in a state of contradiction. So you cannot be something and hope for something at the same time. You have to make a choice. If you come to the knowledge that you are God in the flesh, manifested as the I am, you cannot embody that and be that while at the same time hoping, someday I'm going to be that. Someday I'm going to understand that. Someday I'm going to embrace that. That's a contradiction. You can't be both. You have to be and know it right now. And that's also why Jesus said, call those things that are not as though they are. Because if you understand what I'm saying here, if you understand what Jesus was saying, but in your conscious mind, you're still seeing all the things that don't jive with that fact. See, Jesus says you're in heaven right now. But your conscious mind is seeing things that don't jive with that fact. And so you are presented with the choice then. Who are you going to believe? Who and what are you going to believe? So if you're still seeing all the bullshit, and you're letting that be your influence, then call those things that are not as though they are. Say, I am in heaven right now. I am one with God right now. I have everything that is in the kingdom right now. Every good and perfect gift that comes from on high is for me right now. Regardless of the contrary information, because I assure you, my friend, that all of that contrary information, as you root, as you ground, as you hold fast, those things will change. They have to. They have to. This is cosmic law. This is not somebody's philosophy. This is not wishful thinking. This is not, well, we hope it works this way. No, it works this way. This is the cosmic law. It works the same for every single person. It will work for you exactly the same way that it worked for Jesus and Buddha and Sri Ramana. I can't say his name. Sri Ramana Maharshi. Bhagavan. And all the others. How do I manifest? How can I make this a reality? Get your meter up. Get your meter up. Visualize an internal thermostat. And you want that sucker pegged out at the top. You want that sucker blowing out at the top. And we're a long ways from that. A long ways from that. Blowing out the top. Blowing out the top, again, means the ability to teleport anywhere in the cosmos by thinking it, by thought. Every single thing that you will ever do, ever create, ever experience, ever know, is coming through thought. And that thought can be guided by cosmic mind, which is all truth, absolute truth. Or it could be guided by a tainted subconscious mind that's full of crap. No condemnation or judgment with that. It's just the way that it is. And we allowed it to get that way. And then some very crafty and cunning people duped us into cycling here on earth in a time loop. See, essentially you are stuck in a time loop of reincarnation, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. And again, living in hell until you break the time loop, until you break the cycle. And you break the cycle right here, right now. Again, it's always in the present moment. You smash that right here, right now, if you want to. I mean, you may still need understanding. You still may need to get a lot of courage to take that rod of iron to smash things that you thought were dear to you. Like your idols and your gods. Those are dear to me. Those are precious things that I really thought I needed. I thought they talked to me. I thought I thought that idol that spoke was worthy of listening to because it spoke. No, you're going to have to smash it. You're going to have to smash it. And see, if you don't have the courage to stand on your own 2 feet yet, you don't have the courage to trust the cosmic mind. You don't have the courage to actually trust God. Because you thought that idol was God. So it's got to be smashed. And all the false beliefs that came with that idol, those got to be smashed too. And if you've spent lifetimes rooting into that, grounding into that, then think of how much courage it's actually going to take to do it. And all of it was rooted in fear. All of it was because you were afraid you were going to go to hell. But no, you're already in hell. Recognize it. See, that's the only way you're going to get out of hell. Recognize you're in hell. Recognize how hell is created, co-created. How hell is sustained. The minute you recognize that, you have the ability to smash it with that rod of iron. But it's going to take courage. And once again, my friends, we leave you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator.